Holy is the ultimate gamer. He's earned that name.
HOLYONE.
A great guy, and his videos are fantastic.
Which studio YouTube? It's HOLYONE, and these are going to be the top 100 games I recommend picking up from the 8th generation of consoles for PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And to start off my list at number 100, we have Resident Evil 3 Remake. And there should only be a couple remakes on this list, but I know people will say, hey, you gotta put some remakes on this list, and I completely understand that. So Resident Evil 3 is going to be starting this list off. These games will not be in any specific order. So they're not from like best to greatest to least to favoritist. So Resident Evil 3 I put on this list because it is a graphically good looking game. They remodeled a lot. I know they took out some content and added in some other content, so some people didn't like that, but overall it is a great game if you guys want to pick it up for $30. And if you want a game that's more action based than horror compared to Resident Evil 2, where the genre kind of went in a different circle, definitely check out Resident Evil 3. You of course play as Claire Redfield, and you got to go look for her. You got to escape the city and all that other sort of thing. So your objective is to get away from Nemesis, and Nemesis is still ugly as hell, so he's definitely one you'd probably want to watch out for. Overall, if you guys want to check out my review for this game, definitely do that. It's definitely going to be up there on my channel. So moving on to the list. At number 99, we have Metroid 2 Remake for the 3DS. I played this on the 3DS and played it on hard. If you guys are into the old classic Metroid games and want to pick some games up on the 3DS, definitely check out Metroid 2. It's one of the original games I beat on the OG systems for Nintendo. It's a great side-scrolling 2D platformer before Metroid became first person. Overall, it's a great collected game. You got to collect the Metroids throughout the game. Then you meet the baby Metroid at the end, all that sort of thing. So each boss is difficult in its own way. But if you're good at these sort of games like I am, definitely check out Metroid 2 Remake. You can get it on the Nintendo eShop for about $40. Getting it used, you might have to pay a little more to get a physical copy. But it's an easy game I can recommend for this generation. So definitely check out Metroid 2 Remake. At number 98, 97, and 96, we have the Spyro trilogies, including Spyro 1, Spyro 2, and Spyro 3 for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. I love the Spyro franchise. You guys know that. It's in my avatar. It's all over my profile. I bought Spyro trilogy on my PS4 and my PC and got all the achievements for both. I love these games. They're such great treasure collecting games with Spyro and his wacky jokes, saving the dragons, saving each kingdom. It's just a great overall franchise, and if you guys want to get them, they usually get in a bundled sale for like $20. You can easily get them on sale on any system. If you want to spend over 50 hours in these games collecting everything and 100%ing everything, it is a great nostalgic trip. And the graphics in the game are top notch. These games are phenomenal remakes. So definitely check these games out. They're easily worth putting the money down on them for sure. And they're really cheap to get now that the generation is coming to a close. At number 95, 94, and 93, we have the Crash trilogy. Crashes 1, 2, and 3. And once again, it's another childhood classics. Had to mention Crash if I mentioned Spyro. And I love Crash Bandicoot just as much as Spyro. Whoa, having good childhood memories of this game. Another amazing linear platformer game. If you guys like this game and have good memories of it, definitely check it out. It comes in a bundled sale for most of the time with Spyro on PSN. I got this game on PlayStation 4 and PC, and I beat it twice. You can also get it on the Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. So if you want a really gorgeous, graphically remade game on top of great platforming and somewhat of a wonky story, definitely give the Crash games a look, as Crash 4 is coming out on next gen very soon. At number 92, we have Assault Spy, which is a PC exclusive action-based game which has combat that is more anime style. It's basically an anime style Devil May Cry. You guys can pick it up on Steam for cheap, like $20-$30. It is a really fun action game, and if you like this art style and anime-based style that Devil May Cry 5 / anime style game has, you'll definitely want to check it out. You play as a character who uses a briefcase to attack enemies, and there's 2 different playthroughs you do, where you're like this very pro-American girl, and then this business suit character, and each has a wacky-ass story to it, so definitely check out Assault Spy. At number 91, SpongeBob Rehydrated, aka the SpongeBob remake that came out this year, is a phenomenal remake. Performance on PC is great. It's on every system you guys can get it on. You can get it for $30. There's also a collector's edition that comes with the soundtracks. The game is based off SpongeBob seasons 1 through 3. And this game has been getting tons of positive responses from the community. But a little bit mixed with the developers, but overall the game is phenomenal. And if you're a huge SpongeBob fan and you're a fan of platforming and that sort of thing, then definitely give SpongeBob Rehydrated a check out, because you could probably beat it in about 8 to 10 hours. If you want to collect everything, it could be around 15 hours, but overall it is a great game and it runs great. So that's number 91. At number 90, we have Resident Evil 2 Remake. By far the best, one of the best, if not the greatest remake that has come out this current 8th generation. Resident Evil 2 Remake was a cult. Resident Evil 2 was a cult classic back on the PS1, and Resident Evil 2 Remake stands up to that legacy, and it is an amazing remake, both visually and gameplay-wise, with our characters Leon going out and kicking some badass infected zombies around. This is a must-buy for any Resident Evil fan or anyone interested in the horror genre. Definitely check out Resident Evil 2. You will not be disappointed. You guys can definitely get it on sale for like $20 or less at this point, but definitely give it a look out. It's available on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and soon to be later next gen consoles. So that's number 90 on my list, and it's a great choice if you guys want to pick it up. At number 89, we have The Legend of Heroes Cold Steel 2, which has released this current generation and is available on PlayStation 4 and PC. I would highly recommend playing the other Legend of Heroes games, which are available on PC. They range back from the old Legend of Heroes in the Sky. Unfortunately, you cannot play the certain games that were locked to the PSP, but if you just want to start up the Cold Steel franchise, that is not a bad thing at all to do. You could definitely check these games out. They have a rich story, no spoilers from me, very memorable characters, very good combat. It's more turn-based as well. In these games, you can easily sink 60 to 100 hours into each game. All the Cold Steel's games are currently available on PS4, but if you guys want to get into Cold Steel on the PC, there's more Cold Steel games available there. Overall, it is probably one of my favorite franchises. If you're a huge fan of the Persona games and Xenoblade games, and you like games with really fantastic storytelling and music and combat, definitely check out Cold Steel 2 and the previous Cold Steel games on the PlayStation 4 and PC. At number 88 is J-Star's Victory Versus, which is exclusive to the PlayStation 4. You guys should definitely check this game out on PlayStation 4. It is a really good fighting game compared to Jump Force, actually. It has good split-screen co-op, and there's a lot of different animated characters throughout like 50 years of shonen that you should check out. So definitely give J-Star's Victory Versus Plus a look at. At number 87, Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, which came out back in 2014. You guys can pick this game up on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or PC for extremely dirt cheap. They go on sale frequently for like $5. And you get that with the Handsome Collection. You can also get Borderlands 2. Borderlands the Pre-Sequel is probably one of the shorter Borderlands. However, it's still a very fun game, and they've added high-resolution 4K texture packs for the console versions, for the enhanced editions, as well as adding tons of DLC for the game. Now, the DLCs for this game are very mid, but overall it is a great game if you're a Borderlands fan and a fan of looter shooters, first-person shooters, and that cel-shaded art style, as well as that witty combat and different characters you can team up with friends. It is a great game to play currently with friends, And it is still pretty fun. You can easily sink in sometimes 200 hours into the game if you want to like loot everything and get everything. There's plenty of end bosses and different things you can do in different parts of Pandora's Moon to explore. So that's number 87 on my list, and I definitely recommend purchasing it. At number 86, we have Batman Arkham Knight. And yes, despite how this game released with buggy issues on consoles and PC, it now runs flawlessly on every system, and you guys can pick it up on PS4, Xbox One, or PC. And if you're a huge fan of the Batman games or beat the Arkham games, definitely check out Batman Arkham Knight. You get to ride around in the Batmobile a lot. You get to fight those villains. You get to fight the main villain, Scarecrow, and his mysterious henchman minion bot. And overall, it is a very graphically good-looking game, and it has the Batman gameplay that the Arkham games had. Yeah, there's nothing more to say about it. It's just a really good Batman game. So definitely worth the cop. Came out in 2015, and it's aged pretty well. There's still great detail in this game that's yet to be seen. So that's my number 86 for my list. At number 85, we have Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker on the Nintendo 3DS. Devil Survivor 2 is in the Shin Megami Tensei series. It is the sequel to the first Devil Survivor, which basically in Devil Survivor 2, your objective is to find out why are these demons coming out of nowhere out of your phone app, and then basically you can travel through the world to fight the Star God's plan of basically destroying the human world because they find it a threat. Overall, if you want to sink easily 40 to 60 hours into this game and want to play something on the go, definitely check this out. The game is a bit pricey to get used since these games are now like a collector's item. But if you guys want to download it digitally on the Nintendo eShop, I think it is available there. But it is definitely worth getting if you're into the combat similar to Disgaea, where you move your characters on tiled blocks. Definitely check out Devil Survivor 2. At number 84, we have Pokemon Ultra Moon for the Nintendo 3DS. Now, this Pokemon game is actually pretty good. They did away with the gym leaders just like they did in Pokemon Moon, and then they added more to the interdimensional Pokemon where you have to fight this giant Necrozma monster that's sucking all the light out of the world, basically. Overall, the game you could probably beat in 25, 35 hours, roughly. And you can catch all those Pokemon in the game, and all the Pokemon are available in the game, unlike Pokemon Sword. So yeah, if you have a 3DS and want to play Pokemon, definitely give this game a look. You can get it for probably $40 or maybe a little more, depending on if you're getting a physical copy. But overall, it is a good Pokemon game that has come out this generation. At number 83, Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, this game came out back in 2014, and it was the Game of the Year for 2014 by the critics. Now, I know this game has come under a lot of scrutiny by a lot of gamers, as it's more action, just like Dragon Age 2 was. It became too action-based. But visually, it is very impressive visually game. It's got really good gameplay, so if you're a fan of Dragon Age 2, where the gameplay is a little more action-based, it's got that. It's still got the RPG elements in the game. And you could get the game pretty cheap on Steam or PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. So if you're a fan of Dragon Age, definitely check this out. Just a reminder, it is a more action-based, focused Dragon Age game. But that's my number 83 game for Top 100. At number 82, we have Resident Evil Revelations 2, which came out on all platforms, and the original came out on the 3DS. This game offers co-op with another player, and it basically delves into the people say this goes back to the roots of like Resident Evil being more of a horror-based game, and basically you have to figure out why the people on this island and everything else is going crazy, and why Wesker's sister is doing these evil deeds, and you're tasked with checking out why that's happening. The game did release episodically, but now the game has been completed, obviously, and you can pick up the full package on sale on any of the platforms of your choosing. At number 81, we have I Am Setsuna, an indie game developed under Square Enix. It basically feels more like a Chrono Trigger kind of game with the turn-based battle style and the graphics. It also kind of looks like World of Final Fantasy. The game has a really good story. The art style is also similar to Octopath Traveler. And if you guys are into games similar to that, I would definitely recommend I Am Setsuna. The game is a little pricey to get, but it is available on multiple different platforms, and you can easily sink Probably 10 to 20 hours into the game, depending on how good you are at it. It can easily go up to 30 games if need be. 30 hours if need be. But it is definitely a good JRPG, so definitely check this indie game out. At number 80, we have Soul Calibur 6. One of my favorite fighting game genres is easily Soul Calibur 6. I was a huge fan of the Soul Calibur franchise. It's one of the fighting games I prefer over Tekken or Street Fighter, of course. And yeah, if you guys are a fan of the fighting game genre and you haven't picked up Soul Calibur 6, I highly recommend it. It is a great fighting game. And overall, the game has gone on sale for cheap, sometimes $15. I've seen it given away on PS Plus and stuff like that. But overall, if you want a good fighting game, check out Soul Calibur 6, number 80. At number 79, we have Transformers Devastation, which is a game made by Platinum Games. It is a very great Transformers-ish game, and the art style in this game is really good. They definitely keep the roots of like what Transformers originally used to look like. And unfortunately, this game is discontinued digitally, so you aren't able to get this game. But you can still get it a physical copy. The game might be expensive to get. However, if you're a fan of Platinum Games and like their fight style of games and you're a Transformers fan, I definitely recommend picking this up as a collector's item just to play it. And I am currently playing it on my PC because I managed to pick the game up before it was discontinued. So definitely worth playing. You can easily sink 10 to 15 hours into the story if you want to be a collectathon. And yeah, it's a great game overall. Definitely check this game out. At number 78, we have Shadow Warrior 2. Probably one of the most graphically impressive games on PC. It released on PC first back in 2017 and later to Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It is a very hilarious first-person shooter with probably some of the best graphics this generation. Easily a fun game to get into and play. So if you guys want to play this before Shadow Warrior 3 comes out, definitely check it out. It is a great game. You can easily sink 10 to 15 hours into the game. I highly recommend it. The game is fun, addictive, and just overall a beautiful game. So definitely check the game out. It's always on sale, and I think you can play it on Game Pass right now on Xbox One. At number 77, we have Sunset Overdrive, a game that originally released on Xbox One and later to PC. Sunset Overdrive is a comical, very colorful game made by the developers Insomniac, of course. As you guys can tell, they have a lot of wonky weapons in this game. Tons of gameplay. Unfortunately, the game does not have New Game Plus. So basically, it's an open world game. You can easily get it for like $20 or less. I believe it's on Game Pass as well. You can easily sink 15 to 30 hours into the game if you want to collect everything. I got all the achievements in the game. It's a very fun game. I really enjoyed it because I am a fan of games like this and the kookiness of Insomniac style of games. Basically, the premise is you're fighting a bunch of zombies that turn people into Frisco machines after they drink like a certain kind of orange beverage, and you gotta fix the city and try to escape it. So overall, it's a great game, and I highly recommend picking this game up. It is definitely an underrated gem that came out this console and PC generation. At number 76, Earth Defense Force 5 is a fantastic destroy everything kind of environment game that lets you destroy pretty much everything in the entire game, from buildings to environments to enemies, unlike Crackhead 3, which couldn't even do that with the power of the cloud. So definitely check this game out if you're into those like giant insects, lizards, monsters, frogs sort of game and aliens invading. It's definitely kind of like, it gives me that kind of Godzilla-esque feeling to the game. You can get the game on PC, PlayStation 4 for about probably $40 depending on that, and you can easily sink hundreds of hours into this game with all the missions and content it offers. At number 75, we have Ukulele. Now yes, this game did get a bad rep when it launched, but this game is actually a pretty good collectible game and a very good like world traverse platforming with some beautiful environments and some great gameplay to a certain extent. You can easily sink 10 to 20 hours into this game, and if you're a fan of Rare's games, since Rare isn't really putting out games like this anymore, definitely check this game out, and don't believe the criticism that people have given this game. It is actually a pretty good open sandbox platformer. At number 74, we have Final Fantasy 15. Now, yes, I know this game is also controversial. It is not a turn-based game. It is an action game. And yes, I know that. But this game has a huge, beautiful world to explore. If you game on PC, the game offers in-game mod downloads. The story is nothing amazing, but overall, if you want to play a game that just has a big open world to explore, you know, travel with your crew of companions and just enjoy yourself, then definitely check out Final Fantasy 15. You can get the game pretty cheap now, since it's like 5 years old now, but it's definitely worth checking out, and probably one of the most beautiful games this generation. At number 73, Rise, Son of Rome is easily on my top 100. One of the most graphically beautiful games that came out, and probably looks even more next gen on PC than Xbox. The game can be linear, but it is a great action-based game. Easily can sink 6 to 8 hours to beat the game, and to completely beat it, you spend probably 15 hours. So definitely check out Rise, Son of Rome. You can get the game extremely cheap now. At number 72, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, Link Evolution. Now, if you're a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game fan just like me, you're going to love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. There's thousands upon thousands of cards in this game, so you don't have to go out there and spend tons of money on all these collector's cards and end up taking your money and not being able to play them against other people. This game does have online features where you can duel others. It also lets you build your own custom decks to duel against NPCs. The NPCs can get more difficult in duelist challenges. Each Duelist arc has its own story where you challenge each of the protagonists, whether you're using the starter decks or just using your own decks, up to you. Overall, it is an easy game. You can sink 60 plus hours in if you want to collect all the cards. Definitely check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, Link Evolution, available on pretty much every platform. I, of course, have The Witcher 3. Easily one of the top 100 games this generation, with the amount of content they give you for $60 when it released, with all the expansions they provided you. This game you can easily sink hundreds of hours into, with a beautiful world to explore, with some of the best graphics this generation, with some great optimizations for each system, whether you want to get the game on any system, maybe minus the Nintendo Switch. It is a great game to dive into if you're willing to sink hundreds of hours into an RPG with lots to do. So I'm sure everyone recommends The Witcher 3, and of course I give The Witcher 3 my recommendation as well. At number 70, we have Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, if you guys are fans of the Diablo-esque gameplay on consoles or on PC, this game is a must-got. It has local co-op as well. It's very optimized for each system, whether you want to get it on the Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4, or Xbox One. It is definitely worth picking up. It is a game you can easily sink hundreds of hours into, and it has a nice long story to it as well. So definitely check out Divinity Original Sin 2. The game has scored very high on pretty much every outlet, 90s and all across the board. At number 69 is easily Octopath Traveler, one of the best art style based games that's come out this gen. It's available on the Nintendo Switch and PC. Graphically, it is really nice. They go back to the old art style of like the older turn-based games. The game is 100% turn-based, and I like that the game gives you the freedom to level up whichever character you want. With each story, you can progress through the game, so it depends on like who do you want to level up with, who do you want to go with that, and all that sort of thing. The game you can easily sink 60 to 100 hours in. The game definitely does have a challenge curve to learn, but that's what I love about this game, is that it's not easy, and I could easily recommend this game. However, the game is a bit pricey, but if you guys want to cop it, it's definitely worth checking out. At number 68, we have Disgaea 5. Now, if you're a fan of the Disgaea franchise like me, where the combat is similar to Devil Survivor, then you're going to love these games. It's got the classic horror of like the printies, and it's like, dude, all that sort of good stuff. So if you want to play a JRPG, definitely check out Disgaea. The game you can easily sink hundreds of hours in if you just want to like go on an item grinding session. This game is definitely one to check out. At number 67, we have Bayonetta 2 for the Nintendo Switch / Wii U. Now, I'm a fan of the Bayonetta series and Platinum Games, and Bayonetta 2 definitely has more action combat as Bayonetta continues her story. This game is basically more of a prequel to the first game, which gives you, like, a backstory on Bayonetta's father and, like, the two eyes of the world and sort of thing, and has you fighting new demons and angels in the game. So, if you're a fan of Bayonetta and like action games, definitely check out Bayonetta 2. At number 66, we have Pokken Tournament for the Nintendo Switch / Wii U. Now, this is a really good fighting game. I liked it. Not that it's based off of Pokemon, but because there's so many different combos and different fighting styles you can do. The Nintendo Switch version did offer 2 new DLC Pokemon for the fighting game. And overall, it is a really enjoyable fighting game. So if you're a fan of, like the Tekken fighting style or Soul Calibur, definitely check out Pokken Tournament. It's definitely worth copping. At number 65, we have Mario Kart 8 for the Nintendo Switch / Wii U. Mario Kart 8 is a fantastic kart racing game, which it always has been. And this game offers 4-player split screen on the Nintendo Switch with better resolution. They've also added new characters and all the DLC racing maps on the Nintendo Switch version. So if you want to play a really fun kart racing game and own a Nintendo Switch, this is pretty much what everyone buys with their Nintendo Switch, is obviously Mario Kart. And you can have tons of fun with your family, friends, or if you have some kids. It's definitely worth picking up. Number 64, Tokyo Xanadu X Plus is a fantastic action RPG with a Persona-esque feel to it. And it adds a lot more of the action combat compared to like turn-based that Persona has, but it still keeps the high school-esque feel to it. And it has its own unique story to it. And there's less being into the inside the high school sort of thing. You're more of outside, and you have to go into these dungeons and figure out why these creatures are trying to consume the world and cause a calamity of a disaster. At number 63, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the sequel to Rise of the Tomb Raider. This game takes a turn for more of from action to more of exploration. So this game is more focused on heavy exploration, and it's still beautiful looking graphically game with ray tracing as an option on PC, which doesn't make the game run all that well. And yeah, you could easily spend 15 to 20 hours in the story alone looking for all the collectibles. It's a beautiful game, and it's a Tomb Raider game. It's definitely worth picking up, and the game goes on sale frequently. At number 62, we of course have Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I prefer more over Shadow of the Tomb Raider because the game is more action-based. There's a lot more things to explore in the game, and I like the frozen tundra versus like the wild jungles because it just overall looks like a beautiful game. And Rise of the Tomb Raider is available on all platforms now, minus the Switch. And you guys can pick it up. The game goes on sale frequently. So if you like Uncharted and you like Tomb Raider and you like the action exploration and action-based game and the climbing and all that sort of thing, definitely cop Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I recommend both games that came out this generation. At number 61, we have Marvel's Spider-Man exclusive to the PlayStation 4, and this is a graphically beautiful open-world Spider-Man game, and I love the Spider-Man games, and you get to traverse the world as Spider-Man, trying to figure out what these black masked villains are up to, and why Doc Ock is the main villain going around trying to cause trouble with his experiments. Overall, you could probably spend 15 to 30 hours playing the game. It's great to play for kids if you want, and there's plenty of combat to do with tons of side quests. Definitely check out Spider-Man if you own a PlayStation 4. It's definitely worth copping this gen. At number 60, we have Knack 2, exclusive to the PlayStation 4. The game refined what was originally on the first Knack, and added a lot more new events, like QuickTime events, more collectibles, more fun to play with your co-op friends. Co-op isn't as tedious as it was in the first one. You actually have team combos you can do. There's more combos available. Overall, the game is a great platformer, and it's a great game to play on the PlayStation 4. Knack is definitely an underrated franchise under Sony. I would definitely recommend playing Knack 2 if you want. It is definitely worth the game copping on PS4. At number 59, we have Killing Floor 2 Probably one of my favorite 4-player co-op horde games where you just go around killing Zeds and all these different maps. I platinumed the game on PlayStation 4 and PC. It's easily one of my most favorite horde mode co-op games, right next to that of Halo Reach. You guys could definitely pick this game up on any platform of your choice. It's definitely worth getting. You can sink hundreds of hours into this game. It's very addictive gameplay, and it's a great way to pass the time if you like listening to podcasts like myself. At number 58, we have Infamous Second Son, made by Sucker Punch Games, exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Now, this game came out back in 2014, so it is a bit old, but it's probably one of the best launch titles for the PlayStation 4, graphically with particle effects, and the fact that your character has all these different powers that he obtains through each character, whether it's neon, smoke, all these other sort of abilities. It's very cool. You guys could get this game dirt cheap for the PlayStation 4. I highly recommend picking it up. It is a great superhero slash villainous game, depending on how you want to play it. At number 57, we have Until Dawn, which released a couple years ago back on the PlayStation 4 exclusively. Until Dawn is a great walking sim. Basically, you're walking around figuring out why these campers up at this lodge are dying, and you got to figure out why these Wendigos, where they came from, and all this sort of thing. It's actually a great witty game. I got the plan on it on the PlayStation 4. It's a really good game. It has some pretty good visuals, though there are some performance issues, but it's a pretty good game overall. I definitely recommend picking up Until Dawn if you're into games like this. At number 56, we have Titanfall 2, one of the most underrated first-person shooters this generation that refines from the first Titanfall game that was on the Xbox One, and adds a really good, compelling story, and adds really fun multiplayer. This game is so underrated and deserves to be played. If you guys are into first-person shooters and want a game that runs at 60 across the board on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox, definitely check out Titanfall 2. It is an amazing game. You can easily beat the story in probably 6 hours, and the multiplayer, you could play it a lot. It's really fun to play with the Titans coming down from orbit, and then adding in some gunplay from Respawn Entertainment. So definitely check out Titanfall 2. It is one of the most gems of this generation. At number 55, we have The Evil Within, probably one of the most underrated horror games that came out this generation. The Evil Within is directed by the guy who made Resident Evil 4, and it felt exactly like I was playing Resident Evil 4, except they've added like traps into the game, really spooky looking creatures. It's just a really bizarre game where it's like, oh, it's in your head, and Ruvik is trying to hunt you down and kill you. It does keep you on edge, because you're trying to like get away from him, because if he touches you, you're dead. So The Evil Within is definitely a game worth checking out. Definitely give The Evil Within a look. You guys could get it pretty cheap on these next gen systems. So that's definitely my recommendation for my top 100 easily. At number 54, we have Horizon Chase Turbo, which is a great indie racing game with its own little cel shaded art style. And it's a about $20 indie game, which is pretty steep, but you guys can get it on sale. It's a really fun kart racing game. Not kart racing game, but racing game overall. And I have a lot of fun with it, and it supports up to 4-player co-op. So if you want to play a racing game with friends that's a little more on the indie side, definitely check out Horizon Chase Turbo. You will enjoy this racing game immensely, like I did. At number 53, we have Destiny 2. Yes. Destiny 2, I've put hundreds of hours in. It is a really fun, addictive first-person shooter. And Bungie has been supporting this game for quite a while. They're about to release another expansion this fall and release it on next-gen consoles with a 60 frames per second patch, just like the PC version, which is like super smooth to play on. So if you want a great MMO or first-person shooter to play with friends, whether it's on PC or consoles, Destiny 2 easily offers that. And overall, the game is pretty fun. It can get tedious at times, but overall, with the amount of content they give you, it's easily able to put tons of hours into if you guys are looking for it. And it's free to play, so, or should I say, it's free to start, so it's whatever you want to do with that. At number 52, we have Daemon X Machina, a fantastic mech shooter game that I haven't enjoyed this much since probably Zone of the Enders way back on the PS2. Daemon X Machina is available on a Nintendo Switch or PC. I would highly recommend getting the PC version because the Switch version has some severe performance issues. And it runs soothingly good on PC, especially playing it to 60 frames. It feels so good. The game does have online co-op versus, as well as a story, which you could probably beat in about 15 hours. The game is a little pricey, but overall it is a great mech shooter, and I would definitely recommend picking it up, because we are definitely not getting many games like this that come out this generation that often. At number 51 is, of course, The Legend of Heroes Cold Steel 3. And once again, I will emphasize that Cold Steel is a freaking amazing game series. You guys should definitely pick up Cold Steel franchise from scratch. Cold Steel 3 is just as freaking good as Cold Steel 2, and they've added more characters, more depth to the game. It's just overall a fantastic JRPG with a great story. So definitely check out Cold Steel 3 if you really enjoyed Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and the other Legend of Heroes games. At number 50, we have Bug Fables, the spiritual successor to Paper Mario, and a superior game to anything that Paper Mario has released in the last couple of years. Easily, I love this game because of its art style, its bug theme. The story is easily 15 to 30 hours. And if you guys like the original Paper Mario games, definitely check out Bug Fable. It's $20. You can cop it on PS4, Switch. It has its own unique combat system where you have like different attacks and all that sort of thing, and has a great audio track to the game as well. So definitely check out Bug Fables. At number 48, we have Doom 2016, and once again, it's a great Doom game that they brought into the next generation of systems. Easily has a 15 to 20 hour story. High octane death to the demons, just relentless destruction all over the place. Is an amazing game, and I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. It's Doom. It's just high gory action, and it's a great way to just have mindless fun. So yeah, definitely check out Doom 2016 before you play Doom Eternal easily. At number 47, we have Devil May Cry 5, which was my game of the year for 2019, and it is an amazing action game. And once again, Capcom delivers another high quality Devil May Cry game, with of course the story being Virgil's the villain, and then all the demons are coming out and you have to kill them. If you guys want a high octane action game, definitely check out Devil May Cry 5. It is really worth it, and it's really good on every system you can play it on. Definitely check Devil May Cry 5 out. I highly recommend it. At number 46, we of course have Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, as I am a huge Souls fan and fan of like the Shinobi and ninja art style. I loved Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice. The game could be difficult at times, but I just loved the gameplay overall. The visuals were very nice, and the performance was pretty good on PC. Though the consoles are questionable, that's still good. This was the guide for the critics of 2019. So if you guys want to check out this amazing game and you like a little difficulty in your games, definitely check out Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. You will not be disappointed. At number 45, we have Borderlands 3. Easily on my list. If you like, once again, if you like looter shooters and you're tired of Destiny, definitely pick up Borderlands 3. The game has a huge player base that you can play with people. The game has a ton of expansions. They've just released their third expansion recently, so you guys can get right into that. Overall, the game is very fun. The story isn't as good as the previous one, but it is better than like Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, you could say. And they definitely have a lot of content here you could play and easily spend hundreds of hours grinding and fighting end bosses and all that sort of stuff. So Borderlands 3 definitely gets my thumb of approval. At number 44, we have Metro Exodus, and I absolutely love this game. It is graphically gorgeous. I beat it on PS4 and PC, and I beat it on Ultra Ranger on Ranger mode, which just made the game more difficulty because I like resource hoarding in this game. Ray tracing on makes the game look beautiful, but my god does it kill performance, so I'd say wait for the next gen graphics. Overall, the story is pretty good. There's less of those nightmare creatures, but the semi-open world game aspect to the game I think was pretty good too. Metro Exodus is a really great game. Definitely check it out if you guys can, but make sure your PC is upgraded before you run that ray tracing. At number 43, we have Gears 4 for Xbox One and PC. Gears 4 is a great sequel to 3. It's a new trilogy. They've are using Unreal Engine 4 now. The game is probably one of the best looking games this gen, and Gears 5 only makes it look better. The story is alright, and the multiplayer is fantastic. So if you're a Gears fan, definitely pick up Gears 4 and Gears 5, which we'll get to that later. At number 42, we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is a great Souls-like game for a Star Wars game. And it's actually a good Star Wars game that we haven't had in a long time. I played the game on the highest difficulty on PC. It's also available on PS4 and Xbox One, even though there are performance issues with those systems. But if you guys want to play a game that's about 10 to 20 hours, depending on how good you are at the game and what difficulty. And the game doesn't have that difficulty curve unless you really want to get into it. But it's a pretty good game, and it's pretty on sale frequently for like $30. It's definitely worth getting, in my opinion. Definitely check this out if you are a Star Wars fan. At number 41, we have Astral Chain, made by Platinum Games, which adds a unique battle system where you chain together with this creature to form attacks, and you unlock multiple different ones throughout the game. You can also chain up an enemy in order to make them weaker and defeat them in combat, and you're traveling to this parallel universe that's threatening to destroy ours in the process. Overall, you can beat this game in 15 to 20 hours, and it's available only on the Nintendo Switch, so if you own a Nintendo Switch, definitely check this game out. It's definitely worth getting. At number 40, we have Code Vein from Software. And this is basically the anime waifu version of a Souls game, pretty much. I like its art style. It's more like of a cel-shaded look, and the bosses can be difficult as well. So if you guys are a fan of Souls games and you like watching anime, definitely check out Code Vein. It has its own unique system of battle as well. So Code Vein is definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of those games. And they recently released some expansion DLCs that came out this year as well. At number 39, we have The Outer Worlds, the spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas, made by Obsidian. Now, I've waited a long time for a successor to Fallout New Vegas, and Outer Worlds does not disappoint. The game is actually graphically good looking. It's got the same identical gameplay to Fallout New Vegas. So if you guys are fans of Fallout New Vegas, definitely pick up The Outer Worlds on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. The game runs horrendous on Switch, so don't get it there. And it is eventually coming to Steam later this year. So definitely pick out The Outer Worlds if you want to play a 20 to 30 hour game with plenty to do in this semi-open world planet traveling game. Easily one of my favorite games that came out in 2019. At number 38, we have God Eater 3, and this is probably my favorite God Eater game of the franchise thus far. The game is easily 30 to 40 hours long with tons of monsters to kill, weapons to build, teammates to strengthen up, and basically it's the anime waifu version of a Monster Hunter World from what most people would say. But I love this game. It's fun. If you guys are into Monster Hunter World, definitely check out God Eater 3. It is definitely worth copping. It goes on sale frequently, and it is a pretty fun game with a pretty good art style. At number 37, we have Rage 2, which is an open world sandbox game, which some people say, oh, it's an empty world game, but there's a lot to do in the game. It's fun, it's actiony, and it's a great first person shooter, guys. Definitely check out Rage 2. It's definitely not as bad as what people think. It's a really fun game. Definitely check out Rage 2. At number 36, we have Monster Hunter World, which was my game of the year for 2018, and I absolutely adored this game. You can spend at least hundreds, if not 1,000 hours like myself in this game, teaming up with people, grinding different weapons, killing different monsters. There's so much to do in this game, and it's beautifully graphically. There's so much attention to detail. It's crazy. Your character goes in the water. He's actually wet. The monster detail is crazy. They've added new higher textures on the PC version. There's so many mods you can download on the PC for this game. It's such a great game overall. If you guys don't have Monster Hunter World or Iceborne, it is definitely worth picking up. This game is worth every penny to buy. At number 35, we have Dragon Quest XI, which is a fantastic turn-based JRPG, and I love the Dragon Quest franchises. Dragon Quest XI delivers on the art style, the music, the combat, everything, and you can easily spend 30 to 60 hours playing this game alone. I spent 100 hours in this game, and it's currently available on PS4, Switch, and PC. And yeah, it's definitely worth getting if you're a fan of Dragon Quest or JRPGs in general. Dragon Quest XI is definitely worth picking up. At number 34 is Ninokuni 2. easily better than the first game, which put me to sleep and I couldn't stand. But this game is much more better. I love Level 5 and their movies and their game. The art style is great. The characters are good. The story's alright. Overall, the game is worth picking up if you're a fan of action JRPGs. They've patched a lot of things and added a lot of content with expansions. And overall, the game is easily 30 to 40 hours. I put 94 hours into the game. Definitely check out Ni no Kuni 2 if you're into games like this. At number 33, we have Valkyria Chronicles 4. A great game where you control your characters similar to XCOM, but then move them around the board to attack enemies. And the story is basically similar to Valkyria Chronicles 1, where you're actually in the war trying to figure out how to beat the Northern forces. The game story is easily 20 to 25 hours long, and it is a great game if you're into games similar to this, or if you're an XCOM fan or something like that. With, of course, the waifu JRPG-ness that usually games like this have. It's hilarious. At number 32, we have Dragon Ball FighterZ, which I am a huge Dragon Ball fan, and the art style they went with this fighting game is fantastic. The game has great characters. They've added a ton of characters with the DLC thus far, and I just have a blast playing this game. I've easily sunk 32 hours into it. The story is pretty much garbage, but overall, who plays a fighting game for the story? So if you guys don't own this game and are huge Dragon Ball fans, definitely get on this game. It is worth having. Easily one of the best fighters that have come out this generation by far. At number 31, we have Xenoblade 2 Chronicles. Xenoblade 2 has a fantastic OST for music. The game's music is even better in their Torna expansion. The game is easily able to sink 100 plus hours in with the expansions and the main story, where you follow Rex and his compatriots trying to save the world and climb up the world tree. If you guys don't own this game on Switch, definitely pick it up. It is worth getting, and you can easily sink so many hours into this amazing gem that came out on the Nintendo Switch, of course. Number 30, we have Omen Sight, which has a Zelda Breath of the Wild-like art style with an action-based game to it, and the game is very linear. What makes this game unique is the game offers different timelines, and you have to go back in time to figure out why the future keeps getting changed, and the world ends up getting destroyed. Overall, looking at the game aesthetically, it is beautiful, and this is one of the best indie games I've played this generation. So, if you guys want to check out a good indie title, definitely check out Omen Sight. It is a great, unique action game. At number 29, we have God of War. Of course, this had to be on my list. Now, yes, I think the previous God of War 3 was better than this game, but God of War definitely has some great combat, interesting Norse mythology story, and is probably one of the best graphically looking games on PlayStation 4, obviously. But overall, it's a great game. So if you guys are huge God of War fans, definitely check out God of War PS4. It's definitely worth picking up, and it's an obvious choice to get for this generation. At number 28, we have Senran Kagura Beach Speech Splash. Now, yes, this game is weird for a third-person shooter. It involves beach babes, anime waifus, teaming up and going on fighting people with water guns in third person. But this is an interesting multiplayer game because you have to kill people with a water gun, and it's just great fun. That's all it is. It's just a great fun game. So if you're into the Senran Kagura games, don't be afraid to pick this game up. It's just plain fun to have fun multiplayer with this weird water gun game. So yeah, definitely check out Senran Kagura Estival Beach. At number 27, we have Nioh, which I put 400 plus hours in on PlayStation 4 and PC, and I platinumed it twice too. This game is just phenomenal. It's a great Souls-like samurai-esque game, and if you guys like games like this, definitely pick up Nioh or Nioh 2. This game is definitely worth copping. At number 26, we have Zelda Breath of the Wild, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch and Wii U. Zelda Breath of the Wild is probably the first Zelda game I actually enjoyed because I haven't really played much of them. And this is a really good open world game. There's so much to explore, so much detail, so many things to explore about this game. It's just great overall. And if you own a Nintendo Switch, Zelda Breath of the Wild is a must own for any Nintendo Switch owner. At number 25, we have Persona 5 Royal, which adds even more content compared to the last Persona 5, which they added a new ending, new characters, new social links. There's so much stuff you could do in this game. As a Phantom Thieves, your job is to clear the hearts of blackened individuals and rid society of bad adults. So if you guys want a turn-based game and you're a huge Persona or Shin Megami Tensei fan and you don't own Persona 5 Royal, check this game out. It is a great PS4 exclusive and easily one of the best games this gen. At number 24, we have Nier Automata, made by Platinum Games. It's probably my most favorite action game that came out this generation, with such a unique story with the androids fighting these robots in the world where the aliens have wiped them out. There's like 25 different endings. I got all the endings. I got all the achievements on PS4 and PC. This is a game you guys should play if you're a fan of action games and Platinum Games. This game is really good. I've even modded my PC with like some figurines of her. So that's how it is. So that's what I say with this game. At number 23, we have Tales of Berseria, which is available on PS4 and PC. And this is a great Tales game. It is the prequel to Tales of Zestiria, how the Lord of Calamity was created and how that all took place, and how they have to fight the Shepherd before brainwashing people into believing, you know, oh, we have to worship this person and give up our evil ways, that sort of thing. And most people like this Tales game because its story is so good. That's why people rave about Tales of Berseria, and I agree with them. So, if you guys are a Tales fan or like JRPGs with a good story and some different gameplay, definitely check out Tales of Berseria. It's definitely worth getting. At number 22, I had to put Cuphead on this list, of course. Cuphead has such unique art style because it's based off of like the old 1950s movies and stuff like Mickey Mouse and that sort of thing. And the gameplay reminded me a lot of Gex back on the PS1 with how difficulty curve it is with the 2D scrolling around, killing enemies with this difficulty. Yeah, so if you guys don't own Cuphead, it's definitely worth playing. I got all the achievements on this game. And yeah, I play it cooperatively with my brother and all that sort of thing. And it's definitely worth checking out. Definitely get Cuphead if you can. It's a game worth getting. At number 21, we have Danganronpa V3, a great visual novel that bases its story off of students being trapped in this facility and killing one another, and then trying to figure out why Kuma is the judge, and he has to figure out who did it. And if you don't figure out who did it, you and your other classmates will die while the killer goes home free. This isn't as good as like the first two, but overall it is a great visual novel if you guys are into games like Danganronpa where it's like really complicated how this person killed that person, detective figuring out stuff. Is a great game. It's available on PC and PlayStation 4. Definitely check this game out. It is actually really good. At number 20, we have The Evil Within 2, an even better game than the first game, which adds sub-open world areas for you to explore, with you returning to STEM in order to save your daughter. Kind of a cliche story, but overall it is a pretty graphically good looking game, no matter what system you're playing on. And overall, I think it's a much better game than the first game, which was already a great game. So if you guys like the first Evil Within, or you're a fan of the Resident Evil franchises, definitely check out Evil Within 1 and 2. At number 19, we have A Hat in Time, which is a phenomenal platformer game, which I think is even better than Mario Odyssey, because Mario Odyssey has kind of a clunky controls. And you control this little girl whose ship has crashed over this town called Mafia Planet, and you have to reclaim all her time shards in order to get back. The world is very big. It's very nice. I like the art style, and it runs great on PC, and it's available on every system. So if you guys are fans like Mario Odyssey or platforming games like this, definitely check out A Hat in Time. It is a phenomenal game. At number 18, we have Resident Evil 7, which takes the franchise towards a different route, making it first person instead of third person, and actually going back to the roots of their horror genre, where half the game, I think, starts off very scary in a way for certain people, especially if you play it in VR. But even if you're not a fan of the new first person mode, the horror in this game is still top notch, and you should definitely check out Resident Evil 7. At number 17, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, only on PC and PS4. This is a great open world game, beautiful graphics. I love the concept of dino beasts going around with mechanical abilities and you have to harvest them. The story is pretty good. Overall, the game is beautiful, and if you don't own Horizon Zero Dawn, I would highly recommend copying the game. At number 16, we have Prey, made by Arcane Studios, which takes place in an orbited moon, and you have to decide how to fight these blackened creatured aliens. and upgrade your character along the way. It's a pretty good first person like slash horror, whatever it would be considered game. Definitely worth picking up. At number 15, we have Uncharted 4, which was my game of the year for 2016. Uncharted 4 had a great story, some of the best graphics I've seen on PlayStation 4, and overall some pretty good multiplayer. So if you guys are a fan of the Uncharted series or even like Tomb Raider games, definitely check out Uncharted 4. It is a great game, and overall you can get it cheap right now. At number 14, we have Doom Eternal, probably the best first-person shooter game that has come out this gen, if not the best. They've added so much compared to Doom 2016. This game is just so freaking good. I beat this game in Ultra Nightmare. It was so good that I just put about 40 hours into it altogether. This game is just that good, and they've added some new platforming, a couple new weapons, new enemies that will require you to use certain abilities in order to progress through the game. In order to kill each enemy, there's different weapon combos you have to pull off. Overall, it is just a great game, and it's so gory and over the top. Just such a great game. Definitely check out Doom Eternal. At number 13, we have Dark Souls 3. Another Dark Souls game in the trilogy, and it's such a great game. The visuals have been upheaped compared to 2. The enemies are even harder than Dark Souls 2, which was probably the easiest Souls game. And overall, I had a blast playing it, building different builds, certain elements, fighting each boss. Yeah, it was a great overall game, and if you're a Souls fan, this is probably one of the best Dark Souls games you can play. So definitely check out Dark Souls 3. At number 12, we have Ratchet & Clank Remake for the PlayStation 4. It's a reimagining of the first game that released back on the PS2. And overall, the visuals, the physics are amazing in this game. And it's just a great game overall. And if you guys are a huge fan of Ratchet & Clank, this is definitely worth getting on PS4. You can get it cheap now. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing the new Ratchet & Clank that is coming out on the PlayStation 5. At number 11, we have Gears 5, which is probably way better than the fourth game. They've added new cooperative experiences with a little robot you can use in the story mode. They go into the lookings of what the Queen's like bloodline looks like with Kate. The multiplayer did have some issues, but they have refined the multiplayer so much that the multiplayer is now really good to play. There's a fun horde mode, which I like to play on the most, and then you have your usual death matches you can play with friends. Overall, Gears 5 is a very polished experience, and it looks way better on PC with the 4K texture pack. So this definitely does look like a next-gen game with all the features you can get on the PC version. So definitely pick up Gears 5 if you own an Xbox or Game Pass or have it on PC. At number 10, we have Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, which is basically your character, Nep, and her sisters going into this alternate reality where you meet this one girl with a blowhorn. And yeah, it's got that same battle style as Neptunia, and I thought the game was pretty fun. So if you're a huge fan of Neptunia, definitely check out this game. It's definitely worth getting on PS4 or PC. At number 9, we have Shin Megami Tensei Apocalypse, which takes place after Shin Megami Tensei 4, where you're basically a new character who's reborn and is controlled by a demon. In order to regain his powers, he has to fight in order to decide the fate, if he wants to kill God or not, that sort of thing. Overall, it's a fantastic game, similar to all those other games. So another great Shin Megami Tensei game that's worth picking up on the Nintendo 3DS. At number 8, we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, which is basically a turn-based Digimon game that is available on the Vita, PS4, and PC. It is a great game if you guys are into like Digimon and you're like into Pokemon, that sort of thing. The game has like a turn-based combat, and actually has a pretty good story to it as well. So definitely pick up this game if you're a Digimon fan. At number 7, we have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which is a great fighting game that has added a lot of content over the years, and they keep adding content. And it's just overall a great game. So if you guys are into playing Xenoverse, or you're into like the Dragon Ball fighting games and you're not into the 2D and you're more to the running around the stage, definitely check out Xenoverse 2. It's definitely worth copping if you want it. It was a little bit older game, but still, it's a pretty good game. At number 6, we have Quantum Break. I didn't pick Control because I didn't really care for Control, but Remedy's Quantum Break was actually a pretty good game I got on Xbox One. I thought the graphics were pretty good. I like the whole time powers and the ability to like warp around enemies. I know the game could be beaten in like 4 hours, but overall it is a pretty good game. And if you're a fan of like Alan Wake or Control, definitely check out Quantum Break. It is definitely an underrated game on PC and Xbox. At number 5, we of course have to put Blood-Borne on this list. This was my game of the year for 2015. I absolutely love Blood-Borne with all the gore and the greatness. It is a great PS4 exclusive, despite some frame rate issues. It is a great Souls game and probably one of my favoriteest because of how fast-paced it is and how less you have to be on the defensive and just get up right in enemies' faces, all that sort of thing. So if you guys haven't gotten Blood-Borne on PS4, definitely do that. I platinumed it myself, and it's definitely worth kidding. At number 4, we have Tales of Zestiria. Probably one of my most underrated Tales game, where your character is the shepherd, basically sequel story after Berseria, and your goal is to like save the world from calamity that's surrounding about to destroy it. And the cool thing about this game's combat is you merge with the spirits to gain different powers from different elements, whether it's wind, ice, ground, earth, or something like that. So very different combat for this Tales game than other ones. Definitely recommend copping this if you own a PS4 or PC. At number 3, we have Dragon Quest Heroes 2, which is a great Dynasty Warriors-esque like combat game, which I put about 25 hours into. It's a good game. I like it more than Dynasty Warriors because it has like more of a cartoony art style with it, with the Dragon Quest themes. So overall, if you're into like Hyrule Warriors or Dynasty Warriors, definitely check out Dragon Quest Heroes 2 or the first game. They're pretty good games. At number 2, we have Dying Light, which is from the creators of Dead Island, and I really enjoyed I did enjoy the Dead Island games, but Dying Light I enjoyed the most. With how much content they've updated in this game, with all the stuff they give you for free, this game has had a longevity with its life cycle for a game. Overall, it is such a great game and a world to explore with an open world zombie game with an interesting feature where zombies go crazier at night. So definitely check out Dying Light before the second one comes out on next generation. And finally, at number 1, we have Splatoon 2, a great third-person shooter with inking enemies, and I love the first game, and I love the second game. So that's going to wrap up my 100 top games of this generation, guys. Let me know if you're going to pick up any of these games. This is your boy, HOLYONE. Ouch!